Yo, Conscience, you know we never covered any female characters in Honest Gaming history?
Really?
Yeah, no women, only dudes.
Huh. Guess you know what that means. Long ago, two powerful clans maintained the balance of the light and dark forces within the world. There were the Lumen Sages, the followers of light, and the Umbra Witches, the petitioners of darkness.
The two clans lived in peace until one of the sages and one of the witches decided to fuck it all up. Balder, a Lumen Sage, and Rosa, an Umbra Witch, decided to bump nasties and gave birth to the protagonist of our tale, Bayonetta.
Her name is not actually Bayonetta, but to reveal her true name now would spoil a major plot twist in the first game. So for now, we're just gonna call her Bayonetta.
This sinful act angered both clans because the unity of light and darkness was strictly forbidden, so a war sparked between both factions.
As for the two sinners, Balder was exiled by the Lumen Sages, and Rosa was imprisoned by the Umbra Witches. Luckily, Bayonetta was given to the Umbra Witches to be raised as a witch, but they treated her like an outcast.
You see what happens when you can't keep your sexual urges under control?
As the war progressed, Bayonetta developed a strong friendship with another Umbra Witch named Jeanne. After a few years, the war between the two clans ended with the witches reigning supreme, but their peace was short-lived because soon after, witch hunts started taking place.
The angels that the sages praised started attacking the Umbra Witches. During these hunts, a substantial amount of witches were slain, including Rosa.
The blame for the hunts were placed on Balder because he was the only Lumen Sage left, and they assumed that he was using these hunts to get a hold of the left eye of darkness.
Hold up, let's backtrack a little bit.
So there are two artifacts that are known as the Eyes of the World. There's the right eye of light, owned by Balder, and there's the left eye of darkness, owned by Bayonetta.
These eyes belong to Azir, the god of chaos. He gifted his right eye to the Lumen Sages and his left eye to the Umbra Witches.
Balder wanted both eyes so he could awaken them and summon Jubileus, the creator, thus giving him the power of a god.
So Jeanne knew this and was like, welp, can't have that. So to protect the left eye and her best friend, she sealed Bayonetta away for 500 years. Jeanne coming in with the clutch moves.
After those 500 years passed, a journalist named Antonio Redgrave witnessed her awakening, but he was then immediately killed off by angels.
He couldn't handle her thickness, so the angels had to kill him.
And Redgrave's son, Luca, saw the whole thing, but as a human, he was incapable of seeing angels, so he blamed the whole thing on Bayonetta.
Unfortunately for the thick goddess Bayonetta, she has no memory of what happened in her past. She just knows that she is the last Umbra Witch remaining.
And with that, we head into the meat of Bayonetta 1. Let's begin.
20 years after Bayonetta's awakening, we find her chilling in a cemetery, in a nun's outfit, basking in all of her thickness.
She's acting as a nun to lure angels to her, so she can kill them.
So just as planned, the angels show up, and she starts flexing on these bastards, in the most epic opening scene in gaming history. After the skirmish, she reconvenes with her Black Market Connect Enzo, so they can look into the location of the right eye of light.
Bayonetta is looking for the right eye because she believes that if she combines the eyes of the world, she will get her memories back.
But Enzo and Bayonetta are forced to cut their meeting short because a freaking jet just decides to crash into them.
Bayonetta hops on the jet, where she is confronted by multiple angels, along with the woman who seems to know her.
They work together to take out the angels, but after the quarrel, she dips. Bayonetta then heads over to her boy Rodin's place to talk about the whole jet situation. So you mean to tell me that a jet just came by and crashed into y'all? Yup. And some random lady who knew you by name just happened to be on that jet? Yup. Damn girl, take these guns. So Bayonetta once again reconvenes with Enzo, and he tells her that he traced the right eye of light back to Vigrid in Europe. There, she runs across a mysterious woman again.
Who is Jeanne, by the way? In case you didn't notice.
And they fight, while Jeanne continuously teases Bayonetta about her lost memories. Then she beats her and dips.
She also runs into Luca, who has become a journalist just like his late father, and has been chasing Bayonetta down ever since he witnessed his father's death.
And he's like, "Wah, you killed my dad, wah." Bayonetta's like, "Bro, I didn't kill your freaking dad. Now stop following me."
But he still continues to follow her for like the whole game.
After some more angel killing, Vigrid searching, and random visions from her past, she runs into a little girl named Cereza.
Cereza assumes Bayonetta is her mom, and Bayonetta's like, "Bitch, I'm not your mom." But Vigrid is hella dangerous with all these angels running around, so she allows the little girl to follow her.
After some more over-the-top fight sequences, more complaining from Luca about his dad, more unexplained fights with Jean, and more Bayonetta runs into Jean for the final time.
They fight again, and Bayonetta defeats her at last. And after the fight, Jean tells Bayonetta about her past and how they used to be best friends. Then why were you trying to catch these hands, you bitch?
Jean then saves Bayonetta from being ambushed by missiles immediately after this reveal, and dies in the process.
Damn, that's my girl though. Now fully aware of who she is, she reunites with Luca, who has actually come to like her, and Cereza.
They head over to the man responsible for all their strife, the last Lumen Sage, Baldur.
And Cereza switches up on the squad by running to Baldur and calling him daddy. Screw you too, girl.
With Cereza by his side, Baldur then reveals a shit ton of plot twists. First off, Cereza is the younger version of Bayonetta that was brought from the past to the present by Baldur. He brought her over so the experiences she would receive in this timeline could reawaken the memories of Bayonetta in the present. This would in turn awaken the left eye. Don't ask me how this works, I'm just reading my script.
Baldur then reveals that the eyes of the world are not items, but they are actually people. Baldur himself is the right eye, while Bayonetta is the left eye.
Oh, and you remember Luca's father, right? Yeah, Baldur hired him to find Bayonetta and is responsible for his death.
And I bet you're wondering why Jean, Bayonetta's best friend, was being a bitch throughout this whole game. Welp, Baldur's responsible for that too. He brainwashed her. So, as you could probably assume, thick goddess Bayo is pissed. So she beats Baldur's ass, then shoots him in the face with her lipstick.
Don't fuck with a witch.
With Baldur now out of the way, Bayonetta returns Cereza back to her time. But when she did this, she was unaware of the consequences.
Bringing Cereza back to the past changed Bayonetta's past. The experiences that young Cereza faced made her strong, so instead of Jean sealing her for 500 years, they worked together to end the witch hunts. This change immediately awakened the left eye, and Baldur got up with his right eye awakened.
With both eyes awakened, and together, Jubileus emerges. But guess who came back from the dead just in the nick of time?
Bayo's best friend Jean. She broke out of Baldur's control, and is here to save our Queen Bayonetta.
She succeeds in breaking Bayonetta free. Then they work together to send Jubileus hurling towards the freaking sun.
That's some Dragon Ball Z shit.
After all that, Bayonetta's friends assume that she's dead. I mean, it's not every day that you punch somebody to the sun and survive to tell the tale.
But our girl Bayo isn't dead, and during what her friends thought was her funeral, angels show up. And just like in the first scene of the game, they got bodied.
But this time, by both Jean and Bayonetta.
And with that, we move on to Bayonetta 2.
And if all that time travel shit from Bayonetta 1 confused you, then you better prepare yourself.
Cause Bayonetta 2 is so much worse.
So in the beginning of Bayonetta 2, we find our thick gang goddess in the city doing some Christmas shopping with Enzo, who's still trying way too hard to pull off that stereotypical Italian accent.
Forget about it.
Yo, shut up.
Their Christmas shopping gets put to a sudden halt when Jean shows up. She informs Bayonetta that something feels off in regards to Paradiso and Inferno.
Then, just like in the last game, a random fighter jet shows up gunning for Bayonetta. She kicks the jet up like some dude from Shaolin Soccer, then hops on the jet to find a bunch of angels waiting for her. What's going on, fellas? So she gets some new guns from Rodin, who honestly just shows up out of nowhere, suits up, then gets to work.
One over-the-top opening scene later, she gets to the final angel that made the mistake of messing with her.
But after defeating it, one of the demons that she normally summons to body these angels starts losing its shit.
It tries to attack Bayonetta, but Jean pushes her out of the way.
And the demon literally smacks the soul out of her in the process.
With her soul exposed, the demons from Inferno grab her and force her down to the underworld.
Bayonetta then pauses, looks at her demon, and is like, "Bitch, you messed with the wrong fucking witch." So Bayo proceeds to beat the dog shit out of the demon, then goes to Rodin to figure out what she could do to save her best friend.
Rodin tells her that it will be nearly impossible to rescue Jean's soul from Inferno, but he gives her Jean's Umbra Watch, which she will need to save her friend's soul if she ever finds it.
And the watch also tells her how much time she has left before Jean's soul becomes completely unsavable. So that's nice.
Watch in hand, she grabs Enzo and they head to the mountain Fimbulventor, the place where the Gates of Hell is located.
The Gates of Hell is the only place where Bayonetta can attempt to enter Inferno, but it has never been found by humans before. Regardless, Bayo is set on saving her best friend, so she jumps off Enzo's broken plane and lands in Noatun, the town at the base of Fimbulventor.
As usual, she journeys across the town fighting angels and strutting like some superpowered runway model.
Until she runs into a kid named Loki, who has a strange addiction for Yu-Gi-Oh cards. She notices that the angels that are showing up are going after him, so they make a deal. He promises to get her to the gates of hell, as long as she protects him from all the angels that are going after his head.
Bayo agrees, and they move on together.
After some more traveling, and watching Loki stay hella secretive about his motives, the pair run into a masked Lumen Sage, who is set on murdering Loki. And he can catch Bayo's bullets! Whose mans is this? The fight leads to a stalemate, and the pair manage to escape and continue on their journey. After a few more angel and sage related— oh, wait, actually, y'all gotta watch this scene right here. You see that shit? Bam! My man copped the bullets, threw them back, then Queen Bayo dodged them. That shit is clean, son. Only in Bayonetta. Anyways, after a few setbacks, the pair finally reach the gates of hell, but they are stopped by the Lumen Sage again, and some blue spirit that calls himself the Prophet.
Bayonetta and Loki are then forced to fight off both the Lumen Sage and this Prophet.
The Prophet faces Bayonetta and bodies her ass. Then he shows her a vision of the past, back when the witch hunts took place hundreds of years ago.
In this vision, she finds out that Balder was not responsible for the witch hunts. He was actually trying to save her mother.
But Balder wasn't able to save her. She was murdered by someone who looks just like Loki. Bayonetta's like, bruh, the fuck? Then Loki uses that pause in the fight to quickly open the gates of hell. The portal to Inferno is revealed, and Loki and Bayo jump in.
But the masked sage follows them. He's still trying to murder Loki's heart of the cards looking ass.
So Bayonetta wakes up in Inferno by herself, then comes across a demon that is holding Jean's soul captive. Well, that's convenient. So our girl beats the Inferno shit out of the demon, then saves Jean. But her journey isn't over. She still has to deal with the masked sage and Loki, since he may be the person responsible for killing her mother.
Bayonetta finds Loki being attacked by the sage, so she intervenes and they fight again.
But during the fight, the sage's mask finally breaks and he is revealed to be Balder, but younger. Don't worry, everything will become clear soon.
After the reveal, they continue fighting, but then Loki gets up and releases a strange energy that sends Bayonetta and Balder back in time to the witch hunts at Vigrid. There, she finds her mother taking down a bunch of angels that are attacking the home of the Umbra Witches.
Bayonetta is feeling all types of emotions and confusion, but she just goes with the flow. She helps her mother take down as many angels as they can, but then she eventually runs into the being responsible for killing her mother.
After taking a better look, she realizes that this being is not Loki. His name is Lopter, and he plans to seize control of the eyes of the world. So he and Bayo duke it out, but Lopter manages to beat her and escapes.
She then reunites with Balder, and they find Lopter standing over Rose's dead body.
Now that Balder knows who is truly responsible for killing his wife, he teams up with Bayo and they go back to the present to head back to Fimbulventor. They need to stop Lopter from carrying out his plans.
Back on the Sacred Mountain, they find the Prophet holding Loki. He then tells Balder that this is his chance to murder the person responsible for killing his wife.
So Balder switches up on the Prophet and saves Loki instead of killing him.
Realizing that everyone knows the truth now, the Prophet explains that he is Lopter, and he and Loki are two halves of Aesir, the god of chaos.
The two halves are split into a good half and a dark half, years ago when Aesir divided his powers into the eyes of the world.
But now the dark side, Lopter, wants to attain both eyes so he can regain his powers as Aesir. So first, Lopter absorbs the powers of Loki. Then, he takes his right eye back from Balder. Our thick queen tries to fight the god, but she is no match. So he beats her ass, takes the left eye back, then transforms into Aesir.
Now it's up to Balder and Bayonetta to defeat the god of chaos.
Fortunately for this father-daughter pair, Loki has a trump card. While Bayonetta and Balder are fighting Aesir, Loki lays out the 5 pieces of Exodia and destroys the eyes of the world.
Okay, he actually states that as part of the God of Chaos, he has the power to delete anything from existence. So he uses that power to destroy the eyes of the world. I just really want to throw in one more Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
With basically no power left thanks to the eyes being destroyed, Aesir is left defenseless.
So Bayonetta and her father body him. Then Jean comes out of nowhere to finish him off with the smooth assist. Jean is lit as fuck. I don't care what anyone says.
But the battle isn't over. Lopter's spirit is still left, and if the spirit is left to do as he pleases, then he will just get reincarnated in a different time.
So Baldur pulls a super clutch move and absorbs Lopter's spirit to trap him in his body, meaning that pure evil's incarnate will forever reside within him.
Bayonetta then calls Baldur daddy for the very first time and bids him farewell as he is sent back to his time. So the Baldur we saw in Bayonetta 1 was evil because he got Lopter stuck inside his body in this game, meaning that Lopter and Baldur are pretty much stuck in a time loop.
We told you time travel was gonna be a bitch in this one.
With their last threat now taken care of, Jean and Bale reunite to continue Christmas shopping, until Enzo shows up in the plane Bale stranded him in.
And as you can guess, Angel show up right after to get totally bodied by the two Umbra Witches.
Just your average day in the world of Bayonetta. Oh, and by the way, a third game is currently in development, so this is not the last time we're gonna hear from our beloved Thick Gang goddess.
What's going on, Dochi fam, and thank you guys so much for watching this newest episode of Honest Gaming History. If I missed anything, as usual, please let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. Let's try to get this video to 2,000 likes in 24 hours. I don't know if it's possible, but let's try it out. Please do not forget to follow me on all my social media, and also follow me on my Twitch because that's where I'm going to be streaming from now on. Both of those are in the description below. I'm selling merch now. Shirts and hoodies with dope designs are being sold on Teespring. That's in the description below as well. However, please be aware that the sale ends at the end of February, so you do not have a bunch of time left. So if you want to get some merch, go to the description below and buy yourself some merch. Do it. Do it now. Do it before it goes away and I don't sell anymore. And then I start selling something else later on. You know how it is. Shout out to all my dope patrons that make videos like this possible with their very kind donations. And if you are not already a patron, feel free to go to my Patreon page in the description below and find out how you can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. And on the next episode of Honest Gaming History, I'm gonna be covering Dante from the DMC reboot. I know a lot of you guys have been kind of iffy about it, but I've also had a lot of people that were like, yo, do Dante from DMC. So yeah, I'm gonna do him, and I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it, but I'm gonna do it. We'll see how it goes. So with all that being said, y'all know the drill. Be easy, stay lit, and take care.